Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have been studying this state of self-realization. Do you have any questions on this topic? Nothing?
Jankiji,
Mm-hmm.
one question. It is if a leopard came bounding towards a self-realized person, will he run for cover or will he face the consequences?
That is like saying that if the dream lion came to the waker, the possibility does not exist. Either you're a self-realized person or you're in the waking state of consciousness, right? So how can you say that the dream lion was chasing the waker?
Right.
Now, if you say, no, Buddha was there, will he run? Buddha, will Ramakrishna run? Will Ramana Maharishi run? If a leopard chases, I think any sensible person won't run, because are you trying to outrun a leopard? Ain't happening. So either you think of a better solution to your problem or give in to the consequences. But I don't see how running is going to help the situation.
Okay. Thank you, Janki.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, we declared today would be question answer on question of realization, but then nobody seems to have any questions.
No,
Then we are
Jankiji,
Jankiji, yeah.
I got question. When we say in deep
Can you
state,
switch your video on? Anyone who asks a question, can you all please?
Jankiji, a little bit problem. That's why.
Okay.
Okay. Jankiji, in deep state, we say experience of nothing, right? And when anybody means a person is self-realized, we say no experience. So, can you explain what is the difference?
Yes. There is a soil, there is a plot of land on which there is soil. Okay. There is another plot of land on which there is soil.
Okay.
Like our plot now, currently. On our plot, there is soil all over. It's supposed to be very good soil, so it's there all over. In certain patches of that soil, we could have planted some seeds. right?
Yeah.
So for a person going there, how is that person going to distinguish whether this is a soil with seeds or it is a soil without seeds? Because for all practical purposes, it looks the same. Until that seed manifests into a plant, you're never going to know, right?
Yes.
So, similarly, between the state of self realization and the state of deep sleep, the similarity is there is nothing manifesting. But in one case, the seed is there, and in one case, the seed is not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. The vasanas are there, but they are in dormant stage, whatever. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Jangi, one more question. Earlier you explained, but this I will tell you this power. No power. First point is power, and you in the book it is mentioned, is explained. But second point you mentioned, that is not indicated in the book. Can you again re-explain it?
Okay, but can you tell me what the point was?
Why power is mentioned in the first place? Power. No? Why love is not the first point, and for why power is required? That was his question.
And the
You
answer was?
in the book it is mentioned, yeah, if you are unselfish, you will get power. But
Yes.
second point you mentioned, that is not very much clear.
But what was the point? Even if it's not clear, what was it?
No, why it is mentioned? Why power is mentioned? Because generally people, when people get money, they want power, right? But self-realized person, what is the need of power? Through love only he can rule the whatever world or community.
So why does he want to rule the world or community? What is, he has no wish to rule the world or community. What a waste of time and a thankless job. Like in this cooperative housing societies, sometimes they are good people. They say, okay, let me try and help this society. Let me try and, take charge of some aspect, whatever water or electric or something they take up. Then what happens? Everybody criticizes them only, bichara. So it's a thankless job doing all these things.
Yeah.
So why would he want it? He doesn't want the power and he doesn't want that position. So you know that multiple layers of what you're saying. So your question isn't quite clear. One question is, why is power mentioned first? Second question is, why is it that we are talking about power at all? So I'm not sure what your question is. Why is it mentioned first, or why are we referring to the power that is
No, why it is mentioned first? Why it is mentioned first?
Because it is in the scriptures. There's usually any teacher who wants to actually help you doesn't merely speak about a state, but talks about how you will reach that state. But when he is talking about the state, now he has to talk about the state. What else can he talk about? And it's a very interesting formulation that they always use, where they tell you how to reach there. So if you talk about it from the perspective of how to reach there, you already know, right? How do you reach there? What do you have to do to reach the self?
Follow three yogas.
Very good. So when you refer to power, you get power by the process of, come on, power comes by the process of,
Unselfishness.
you said 3 yogas, so
Three
continue.
yogas.
So
Yeah.
power comes with
Yogas? 3 yogas? No?
Responsibilities?
Unselfish action.
Okay, so what is a word for it? Continue the line. He said, how do you reach there? He said 3 yogas. Now continue the line of thought. Power comes through
Service.
unselfish action, service. So service or unselfish action is also known as
Karma yoga.
karma yoga. Love comes through
Bhakti yoga.
bhakti yoga. Knowledge comes through
Jnana yoga.
jnana yoga. That's what he's speaking about. He's talking about that ultimate state in terms of the method of reaching there. Which is, which is done all over the scripture. Only people who don't know what they're talking about talk of that state in all these, like great terminology that nobody ever understands and doesn't know what to do with it. Okay, God is whatever, infinite. Do you understand infinite? So when we are doing it in some kind of practical way, we mean business. Then we always say, okay, what do I take away from this? So he is very powerful. So what do I need to understand? What does that power mean? Does it mean that now he can come and interfere in all our lives and, pull strings and make things happen in my life? No, that's not what it means. What it means is that he is able to sacrifice his personal likes and dislikes for something greater, nobler, higher in life. And when he does that, automatically the power comes to him. Automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything for power. You have to do something for service. But service is painful because every now and then when you start doing service, it clashes with our likes and dislikes. I would like to do X, but my dedication to the cause forces me to do Y. Hey, Bhagwan, what a thing. Like if you ask Mahesh, what would Mahesh like to do in Vedanta class? He would love to discuss all the theories of the world. What does he have to do? He has to send out mails. He has to look at the IT. He has to set up a website, none of which he's interested in doing. He, bichara, came over here. Okay, I'll get to discuss philosophy and all. Kuch nahi mil raha, no discussion of philosophy. If he calls me up also, he'll have to tell me website में ये हो रहा है, mailing list में वो हो रहा है, that का ये हो रहा है, वो उसका वो हो रहा है. None of which he wants to do. But by doing that, what happens? The consequences, that power of the likes and dislikes on you reduces. The ego reduces. What I want, what I don't want, what I think is correct, what I don't think is correct, becomes immaterial. When you reach this blessed state, suddenly you find you weren't looking for power, you didn't want power, you were busy doing your own stuff. But when you lived that life where you were able to sacrifice, and sacrifice not something fantastic and big. I want to go see a movie. I cannot see a movie. I have to send an email tomorrow. You have sacrifice. Yeah, headache. Why did I get involved with this Vedanta unnecessarily? Sacrifice. Look at Bichari Jayashri. She said, I will come and I will do work with Vedanta and Wisdom Trust. And so he said, yeah, please come. Before she knows it, her whole life is overtaken by it. Every day. She's working Monday to Sunday. Every day she didn't sign up for this. But before she knows it, it is taken over. Okay, so that causes discomfort, obviously. You want to do your own stuff. No, I want my chill time. I want my space. I want this and I want that. No, you're not getting it. You're going to suffer through this. And if you do suffer through it, at the other side of it lies. Don't forget what we're discussing. Come back to your text. Lies self-sufficiency, lies fulfillment. So what are these characteristics he's given? The path and what is going to be the consequence of it. Yes, power does, you're right, Deepraj, power does lie at the end of it, but power is, what we're looking for. What you're looking for really is your fulfillment, your self-sufficiency, your
Bliss, we can say
fulfillment.
bliss also. No? Bliss. Bliss.
No, all that comes under fulfillment. Now, bliss means fulfillment, happiness.
Happiness.
So you want happiness you want to enjoy whatever you have. And you also want to be able to enjoy when you don't have those things. It shouldn't be that you've enjoyed so much that if those things are not there, you collapse.
Should not be conditional.
So you want that state where you can enjoy everything here and you're perfectly all right if those things are not there. Perfectly. You don't need anything's presence and you don't require anything's absence. Sometimes you want the presence of your spouse. Sometimes you want the absence of your spouse. In both cases, it doesn't match. So there's friction. But if you are in a position where presence is superb and absence is superb, then you're good. And so when you do the 3 yogas, you come to the state of 2 things, self-sufficiency and fulfillment. Self-sufficiency means you're fine without everything. And fulfillment means with everything also you're fine. I mean, that's not what the text is saying. I'm answering the question. What is the question I'm answering? ऐसे नहीं करो या question तो याद रखो. This is too sad. Answer नहीं रहता तो question तो रह जाए. What's the question?
Why is power before love?
Why have we got this? Why did power come first? Because why do we want power? I'm sure everybody in this class is not interested in power. Big deal power. Everyone here realizes that it is Shanabhangur. Modi can win with a thumping majority in one election and lose with an equally thumping loss in the next one, right? It's unpredictable. Shah Rukh Khan can make one movie that is an outstanding success and the next one can be a failure. Total failure. So these kind of things are not stable and therefore not so important. However, when they're there, you must enjoy them. Why should you not? If your film did well, great, dance. Jayashree sends out millions of mails. She sends to a CSR companies saying that, oh, we are doing solar, please sponsor our solar. Then somebody says, we are doing wind, sponsor wind, because they do everything, right? So she sends different mails to everybody. You have to put up, we need water, we need STP. 9 out of 10 times people, what do they do when they receive the mail? They simply ignore it. Occasionally, somebody responds and continues the conversation and very, 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 very rarely agrees to give her that sponsorship. So now when she gets the sponsorship, what should we do? Should we sit down and say, oh, we got a sponsorship? No, let's celebrate. What fun, we got something. When we don't get a sponsorship, what should we do? Shall we all sit down and say, oh, we never got a sponsorship and start crying? No. Let's write some more mails. Let's get on with it. Right? Both ways you can be fine. As long as there's no sponsorship, there is an advantage. You know what is the advantage?
You can search many people.
No, what is the advantage? If nobody gives you money to do anything in the university, there's a great advantage in that. You know what is the great advantage?
There's no complacency.
No.
You'll work more, work
No.
harder.
No, just the opposite. Nobody gave you money to work, then you can't work. Chalo, go on a holiday now. Because you have no money, what are you going to do? Right? So great advantage of not having money is you're on holiday. When you have the money, what is the advantage?
Then also you go on holidays.
No, then you have to put on then the project will come up. If there's money, we can afford the project. If there's no money, we cannot afford it. We just enjoy our lives. What else to do? So both ways, there's always an advantage. See, suppose Arun is sitting happily in Delhi. Suppose suddenly now we have to have a major project starting. He'll have to come rushing to Mumbai. Now he's just sitting happily in Delhi, enjoying his life, enjoying the cool weather of Delhi. Otherwise, he'll have to come rushing over here. Oh, we have to set up this, we have to set up that, we have to have an inauguration of something. We did one Bhumi Pujan, he had to come here. Then now we're doing marathon again, Bechara, he has to come here. He must be thinking, Arey, you people do less work. No, I can stay peacefully in Delhi. So every time something happens, there are advantages, there are disadvantages. If we get money, our project goes forward. If we don't get money, Tan Gopal, you can sit and sing bhajans. Imagine if you had money, can you sit and sing bhajans? No, then now you better go and get the work done. You took somebody's money, you have to do the work now. So every way you have to be able to enjoy it. Every moment is to be enjoyable for you. Your life must feel good. If your life feels good to you, you're good, right? Not that, not a force. Oh my God, my life is not feeling good. One more point of stress. Not like that. Just chill, enjoy it. The best of times, the worst of times, they're all going to go away. They're just all going to go away. Every second that you have lived is going to go away. This second was either in your own estimation of things, what they call nowadays the best version of yourself, or it's gone. Try another second. That's why it's called second, because it's giving you second chances all the time. Second chance. One more chance. To be the best version of yourself. To do what according to you is the right thing to do. And to keep on doing it consistently. So why has he given these 5? The first 3 are the 3 yogas. The second 2 are the consequences of the 3 yogas. This is only a way of classifying or a way of putting it across. There's a logic, there's a reason always in Vedanta of why it is done in this particular stream. Okay, so why is power first in one line? In one line, why is power first?
Sufficiency and fulfillment.
Why is power first? Very good, Deepraj. Because it refers to Karma Yoga. It's referring to the path of Karma Yoga. It's referring to our capacity for sacrifice. And what do you sacrifice? When you're sacrificing, what is it that you're sacrificing?
Ego and egocentric desires.
Okay, that is correct. Can you put it in a simple way?
Your likes and dislikes.
Very good. Your likes and dislikes. That's what you're sacrificing. So good. So many of you got it. Likes and dislikes. I like to do this job. I don't like to do this job. Sacrifice it. This is my cup of tea. This is not my cup of tea. Sacrifice. And what are you sacrificing it for? Why are you doing this sacrifice? What are you doing it for?
Self-sufficiency.
The goal,
What
the
goal?
larger, the larger goal.
For self-realization, self-purification, self-development. In this class, what is the goal for us? We have only 2 possibilities here, either self-realization or self-development. If you can't conceive self-realization, self-development. These are the only 2 possibilities. We have no other goals here. Everything else is a means. I want to learn Vedanta. That's a means. I want to put up Vedanta University. That's a means. I want to sing bhajans. That's a means. Everything over here is a means. Goals, you can have only two. Either you're going straight for self-realization or you are going for self-development. That's the only purpose of anything we do over here. And each one has to be personally committed to that. We cannot be jointly committed. You have to be personally committed. We can jointly work. We can jointly sing bhajans. We can jointly do group discussions. But our commitment to the goal of self-realization or self-development is a personal one. Each one individually. Okay?
Janki ji,
Yeah.
can the self-development also be called a relative state of self-realization?
Yes.
So therefore, the external, the conduct which we are talking about here of the person who has realized himself, or the state of self-realization, the conduct and his impact on the world, the world's impact on him, in essence would be similar, is the degree which varies, right? So, see, even all of us at a relative level are at some state of self-realization. If we are so it's not, because sometimes we get very overwhelmed by the state of self-realization that all this will happen only when you realize, but that's very rare. But at some stage, so that it encourages us to continue with the spiritual pursuit, that we are at some state of self-realization. It's
Yes.
not either or.
Correct. Except that we don't use this terminology, some state of self-realization, because self-realization, what you're saying is correct. I'm just correcting the terminology. The state of self-realization is like a light switch. It's on or off. The difference is always of kind, not of degree. However, it is a principle of life that, anyone remembers which principle? Which principle? It's a principle of life that yatha
Yatha pinde tatha
Tata Brahman.
Brahman.
brahmande.
Brahmande.
Yatha pinda tatha brahmanda. Okay, so it's a principle that the macrocosm and the microcosm reflect each other. If the solar system is sun with the planets revolving, then the atom too is the electron, neutron with the electrons and protons revolving around it. So there are repetitive patterns. That way, nature is not very creative. It just uses the same pattern over and over again, like a mass production factory. Naturally, there's so much stuff. So it does a little bit of mass production. So it's the same principle. So just as a man of perfection has got complete power, so too those who have become more unselfish will have more power. As a person, as a self-realized person has complete love, so too as people approach that stage, their universality of affection will increase. Right? So that is based on the principle of the similarity between the microcosm and the macrocosm. But we don't use the term that you're relatively self-realized, because that is a difference of kind. Like, you're not relatively awake, you're either awake or you're asleep. Just the terminology, because now when you're saying it, you know what you mean. Later on, when you remember it, you will have forgotten that distinction, or you or anyone else in class. So you should keep to the right terminology. It's a very important part of Vedantic studies. Keep to the terminology.
Yeah. Okay.
So is anyone new to the class today? Let me see. Rani, are you new? Rani, are you new? Well, I guess so. Okay, so, yeah. Yes, Omkar.
Hey, Janki, I'm trying to switch on my video. Just 1 second. I don't find that option. Yeah. So we discussed that different self-realized people act differently because of their vasanas in motion. Like, I mean, a fan which is switched off will still keep moving. So if that be the, I mean, when people behave differently, even after being self-realized, how do we say that the duality has gone? For example, if I used to like mithai and hate Karela before self-realization, and that continues, the duality of like and dislike is still there.
Very good. So, can anyone answer Omkar's question? If there is a continuity. Okay, so basically, just put it simply, right? So you have a swadharma. How is you? Let's take this all relative. Let's all bring this down away from a self-realized person. So what is happening to the self-realized person is happening to a person as he evolves. A person as he evolves begins with what? His own swadharma. So he has a swadharma, right? If he's a South Indian, then he's a rice eater. If he's in the north, then he's a chapati eater. If he's in the center somewhere, then he's a chapati and rice eater. And if you're Maharashtrian, Gujarati, that kind of realm, then you will be eating both in your meals. If you go as you go upwards, it will be more chapati. As you go downwards, it will be more rice. If you're somewhere around the Vindhyas, then you're going to eat everything because you're now in the middle of everything. Right? Now you are born in this place, somewhere. Now, as you evolve, are you going to switch from your rice to your chapati or your chapati to your rice? No, why would you? Well, there's no cause to do that. Right? So, why would the self realize person? So, now you're saying, okay, so we've established that the switch won't take place. In other words, likes and dislikes will continue. So, what does it mean that you are beyond the pairs of opposites? Relatively speaking, what does it mean that you're beyond the pairs of opposites? Relative.
So whether you are served rice or chapati, you are happy in either state. Is that what it means?
Difficult, right? If I'm used to rice and you give me chapati, why am I going to be happy with you?
Yeah, relatively unaffected, can we say?
Okay, unaffected. Can you put it in another way? Because these are all very okay. All this is all for the high people, ना हमारे लिए तो ये नहीं है बाबा.
You are evolved.
That doesn't explain anything. What does it mean that you're above the dvandvas or you're above likes and dislikes? You have them, right? So in what sense are you above them? Okay. So what do you mean by sacrifice or wait now, does not matter? It matters. Why would it not matter? Jay Shri, you like to eat. No, you don't like to eat. So now suppose every time she comes, I offer her something. She says, I'm so full, I'm so full. She doesn't like to eat. You can't give her any food to eat. So she doesn't like to eat. Now suppose we force her food. How will you feel, Jay Shri, if I keep forcing you food? You say, I'll decide whether my stomach is full or empty. Why are you deciding for me? You react like that, right? So you can't say it doesn't matter. Then next time you won't come only. You'll say, अरे बाबा वहां जाएंगे तो मुझे खिलाएंगे. Or the other way around. You want to eat and nobody offers you anything. You'll say, वहां नहीं जाएंगे, कुछ मिलता ही नहीं है. Right? So what does it mean? What do you mean ideal? What do you mean higher? What do you mean sacrifice? What does it all mean? What does it mean for us?
You are above the pairs of opposites.
Yes, that's what I'm asking, Milind. What does it mean for the evolving soul? Deep Raj, they look at the big picture. The duality is there, but over a large scale, they balance out. So today you get rice, even though you prefer chapati, but tomorrow you or some other day, you will get chapati. Okay. Yeah, correct. But you just take your whole sadhana practically. Otherwise, how will you do it? It will all become something in the books. Oh, those great people do these great things. Then no great people doing no great things. We are all exactly in the same position and we all have to do exactly the same thing. What is that one thing we all have to do? Okay, Titiksha, then another word can say that. But what is it all? Bottom line of all this is what?
Self-sufficiency.
Renounce. You renounce.
I think, but what do we have to do?
Morning studies.
studies and the 3 yogas.
Correct. But if you do morning studies, what will happen? When you are living the normal business of your life, how successful you are in the normal business of your life is entirely dependent on what leads your action, your mind or your intellect. Now you have to just each and every time somehow force yourself to do what according to you is right. Lead with your intellect. What should I be doing in this position? Not should as in all the rules that I have learned in the past, not like that. But should in the sense of what is the most sensible thing for me to do in this situation? So I go to somebody's house, I'm a chapati eater, they give me rice. What is the most sensible thing for me to do? I decide. I have options. I can take the rice. I can say, no, thank you. I wouldn't like to have some rice. I have so many options. But what we do is we start grumbling and criticizing and saying these stupid people, ye mujhe rice diya, mujhe chapati chahiye, to pata hi nahi hai. That means we're leading now with the
Mind.
mind. And in this one thing lies the entire trick of existence. And though you heard this a million times in class, somehow we cannot convert it into action. That filter is simply not there. When your wife irritates you, what do? What do? Hare, you people are keeping quiet as if you have no idea what to do when your wife irritates
Get
you.
irritated.
Get irritated and then?
Get
React.
angry. React.
Then all hell breaks loose. Irritate her back. Yes, correct. Filtration, please, filtration. At least learn to pick your battles. You want to fight with your wife? Very good, please go ahead and fight. But at least pick the battle which is worthy of being fought. That basic filtration we have to learn. One person got in touch with me very recently and was very inspired with our work and came to me and said, I want to do X and Y and Z and took great interest. And then it's difficult to give examples, but so much enthusiasm. And then he or she started doing a bit and in 1 week packed up and left and wrote me a very sweet letter about all the commitments this person has made. I mean, I read through the letter. It's amazing that with all that this person was interested in doing this was itself a great thing. But my point here being, there is no filtration taking place. You get excited about things, you start doing them. They may be the best of things, they may be good things, but you are messing up your life. They may be bad things, you're messing up your life. They may be good things, you're also even then messing up your life. That filtration is extremely important. So when you say, remember where we are? Please at least remember the question. I know answers nobody listens, but questions to listen kiya karo. What was the question?
Relatively developed persons.
What is the question?
Right.
The original, the question. Who asked the question?
Omkar.
This was on
How
Dvandva,
do you remember your question?
How does duality?
duality.
Right. So now can you answer the question of what does it mean to be above the duality? One word.
Objectivity.
Okay.
Use-
One word in
use
today's context. I mean, like that.
Intellect. Use intellect.
One word, yes. Okay. Filtration. Today's word is filtration. Because every time I use a different word in the hope कि कोई तो word अंदर जाए. But it's a bit tough.
Moderation, we can say moderation.
No, because there are times where moderation is not right. Suppose you are a diabetic. You say, I'm having sweets in moderation. No, you can't. Sorry. No moderation for you. You please stop it. So moderation is right only in some cases. Or well, in many cases, in most cases, but not all cases. Right? So what does it mean to rise above duality? It means the use of your intellect. You are filtering your likes and dislikes before you act upon them. If you have this ability to do that, it is called being above those likes and dislikes. Being above them doesn't mean they've gone. It means you are the charioteer. They are following you. You are not following them. 9 out of 10 times in life, we are following the likes and dislikes. We are following the emotions. We are following the mind. Right? So what does it mean, Omkar, that an evolved person is above likes and dislikes?
That person uses filtration.
He doesn't just express. He feels like saying something, bol diya. Feel like doing something, kar diya. No. What am I trying to achieve? What do I hope to get out of this action? Is this action going to take me to where I wish to go? So now, if ever Sheetal irritates you, what will you do?
Filtration.
Pick my battle.
Huh?
Pick my battle with her.
Pick your battle. Yeah, pick some battle that if you won, you'll get something at least.
Too many choices.
Huh?
She is here in the class, but she gives
Okay.
me too many choices. For difficult choice.
Okay. She also has to follow same thing. Everyone. You all are very unique, Omkar. You and Sheetal are most unique. You know what is most unique about Sheetal and Omkar in this class?
Both attend the class.
You are most unique. Right? Have you ever seen any other couple attend the class? Only these two attend the class. So you can imagine.
No,
what
but
is the condition at home.
Janki,
And Janki ji, both of us attend the class and then we fight. Is that what you learned in Vedanta or this class?
I know. Because everything at home will become mini group discussion. I understand. Everything. So see, all you people say, my spouse doesn't come, my spouse doesn't come. You all should be lucky. At least your spouse doesn't know what you learned in class today. But in these two people's case, they are immediately there. Today, whole day, the talk in the house will be filtration. You are not filtering. Okay, all this will go on. So y'all are lucky your spouse doesn't come. Like they are lucky the spouse comes. We all want our spouse to come. Let me try and bring my spouse to the class. He will run for his life. All of us, right? Or nobody can bring their spouse to the class. Only these bachelors are like looking at us like, you people have these problems. I don't have these problems. So filtration. Is this worth opening my mouth about? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to irritate my staff by saying this? When you see that your staff has kept the bottle open when they should have closed it, is it worth it? Is it worth it opening your mouth and saying something about it? Or is it just easier to close that? Filtration.
Janki,
Hmm.
when you use filtration and not open your mouth, and that irritation is within you, that will have even far worse consequences because you are not channelizing it. So my staff keeps something messy and I'm not happy about it, and I use filtration and not express that. It's going to build up into me, inside of me.
Of course it will. Think about filtration. You drink tea, Omkar.
No, coffee.
See, you don't understand filtration because you don't drink tea. You better start drinking tea. In the morning, everybody wakes up and makes themselves a cup of tea. You don't know this now, how to tell you. Everybody over here gets up and makes a cup of tea. Right? How do you make tea? Do you know how to make tea? How to make tea?
The tea leaves, you boil them, right? And then as strong as you want. I'm at a loss. How do they do it?
What?
I'm at a loss as to.
Doesn't know. Doesn't know.
Yeah, I've seen them doing it, but I've never paid attention.
You better start learning. Make your wife a cup of tea in the morning. Okay, then you will learn Vedanta like that. So first you boil it, as you say. You don't boil it, but chalo, let us accept boiling. You boil it. And then what do you do with all of this? You boil the water and milk and tea, and then what do?
You
Filter
remove
it.
the leaves.
When you
filter.
filter it, what happens?
You will get
Does
good.
all the tea stay in the filter? So are we saying that if you're irritated, don't say anything? All the tea is not staying there. The part which you don't want is being filtered out. Got it? If every time you get irritated, you never say anything, you will become a pressure cooker, and then when nothing is happening, you will be screaming your head off. Right? So filtration means deciding whether in this case I want to say anything or not. I want to take action or not. Speaking is not just one form of action, right? So being above likes and dislikes means I know what I'm feeling, but I'm going to decide what I'm going to do about it.
But that doesn't answer my original question, which was that a self-realized person doesn't have likes and dislikes. Here we are talking about he or she may have likes and dislikes, but uses filtration. But I thought that the non-existence of duality means there are no likes and dislikes.
That can never happen. There will always be likes and dislikes. You mean that a self-realized person will like it if some animals are beaten up? How can that ever happen? He doesn't care, okay? Some animals are being, there. I don't know if you know a very popular story in Maharashtra that there was a saint and he saw a donkey being beaten on the road, and he couldn't stop that from happening. But when he went home, all the lashes were on his back. It's a very popular thing. It's said for various saints in Maharashtra. But it's a very popular story showing that they feel maybe more acutely than we do. Just as the adult feels more acutely than the child does. The child expresses more, but the adult feels more. So you will never reach a stage where your mind is not playing. It's impossible. You're just feeling for different things. You think Mahatma Gandhi felt nothing when India was divided? So this concept that they don't have likes and dislikes, it cannot be true. How can that even hold true? What? Then you'll say, no, but I've heard people say they don't have likes and dislikes. That is true. They don't have the kind of likes and dislikes we have. Just as the teenager doesn't have likes and dislikes in the toy world. That doesn't mean he doesn't have likes and dislikes. He has his level ka likes and dislikes. But
So in the presence of likes and dislikes, how does one explain universal love then?
same thing, you're above the likes and dislikes means whether I appreciate your particular qualities or not, I am still able to maintain samatvam towards you. Suppose there's, what is his name? Qasim. What was his name? Qasim, no? What was his name?
Kasab. Kasab.
Kasab.
Kasab.
Kasab. Now, Kasab comes into Mumbai city and kills all our family and friend, and we feel nothing. We say, okay, very good, Kasab, you did a good job. We don't say that. We do not appreciate this behavior. We even hang the guy. But that's no reason why you would not have samatvam, the feeling that each person is what he is, and I accept him for whatever he is. He is that. So likes and being above likes and dislikes means all that. Like take Manit. There are some qualities that Manit has which you like, and there are some qualities, obviously, which he will have which you don't like. But you still manage to maintain the love for him, right? Same as for everybody. Being above likes and dislikes does not mean that there are no likes and dislikes. It means that there are no likes and dislikes below your level. And it means that at your level, there is filtration. You don't just do what you feel like. One day yes, people are like that, very erratic. One day you're my best friend, next day you're my worst enemy. Oh, children, Katti. I'm Katti with you. Katti. I'm not going to speak to you. Today I'm Batti. Every day Katti, every day Batti. ये क्या चल रहा है? Okay, so yes, my friend may have done something that I do not appreciate. And I hold a dignified stance towards it. So in your studies of a self-realized person, please try to see its relevance to yourself. Please try to see the lacuna in ourselves. Where am I not living up to the grandeur of what I'm aiming for? If I'm aiming to be beyond Triguna Atita, I'm aiming to be beyond the Triguna. I'm aiming to be Dvandva Atita, beyond the Dvandvas, beyond the pairs of opposites. Then I cannot today be completely led astray by them. I just cannot. So I have to somehow force myself to think this thing through. And all of you all have hated me for it because I all want to do something. Then I say, please think this through. Then you say, no, I want to do. Okay, do. See consequences. But the thing is, the really sad part is that even after we do, and after we get the consequences, we do not stop to see what happened, what did we do. There is no measurement. There's no yardstick. Chalo, next one. Now what? Now I'm going to do this. So what happened in the past? Examine. So therefore, as we learn to use our head, we learn to become more successful because you're thinking it through. You're thinking, what is the ramification of that? What happens if I do this? What will happen then? And suddenly wake up and start doing stuff. And then say, oh my God, I didn't think this would happen. What do you mean you didn't think this would happen? Why didn't you think it would happen? So as you work for a higher ideal and you care about that ideal so much that you really want it, that forces your mind to listen to your intellect. But if you care about your own likes and dislikes more than you care about the ideal, then you have no, what should I say, motivation. Okay, so rising above your likes and dislikes means filtering them through your intellect before you act upon it.
Yeah, Janki ji, in a state of realization, we said that Sanchit Vasanas are exhausted.
Mm.
Prarabdha Vasanas continue.
Mm.
And when Sanchit Vasanas are exhausted, there is no mind, there is no intellect.
There is no mind, no intellect. Okay, fine.
Or Sanchit Vasana part. Now
Mm.
coming to Prarabdha Vasana,
Mm.
there is mind and intellect.
Mm.
It's fair to say.
Mm.
And it's only on death that mind and intellect dies or whatever. You go beyond that. So therefore, the question, the debate that we just had is that can we say that the likes and dislikes of a self-realized person are flowing out of Prarabdha Vasana?
You could say that.
You can say that.
Yeah, because in other words, it's Purva Adhyasa, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
The momentum of the past. Like I've been eating rice, so now I eat rice.
Yeah. So therefore, it is there. So Dvandva affects him. To the person who has reached the state of realization, he is not beyond Dvandva because the Prarabdha Vasanas is still there.
No, he is beyond Dvandvas because nothing in his nothing in his what should I say? He's not affected by any of this going on. So he is beyond it. His intellect can deal with whatever likes and dislikes throw at him.
When we say he is beyond it, but he also has Prarabdha Vasanas.
Just like you and I now have Sanchita Vasanas,
Yeah.
but we're still beyond some likes and dislikes. We don't have a view on whether if Meera wants to buy a dinky car or a Barbie doll, you don't have a view. If at all you have a view, it will be based on the price tag. But assuming the price tag is staying same, if she wants dinky or car or she wants Barbie doll or she wants, what are these guys on PSPO?
No, I won't have a view. Abhishek will have a view because he's going to pay for it.
Yes. But assuming the same price, then no view. Parents have no view. You take whatever you want. Right? So there are no likes and dislikes at that level. But there are other likes and dislikes. Okay, this much I'll pay, this much I won't pay, that kind of thing. You have likes and dislikes at another level. Right? But below you have outgrown. And at that level, when you have to decide, am I spending this amount on my child? You're filtering it. But if you say, no, I love my Meera so much, I'm going to buy her anything in the world, means you're not filtering. So this is true across the board. That is why Vedanta is so useful, right? Because what's true for the personal realization, what's true for the highly developed is true for all of us. That's why I remember that line in Vedanta Treatise, Vedanta takes you shoulder to shoulder from wherever you are to the highest point of perfection. Always love that line. Wherever we are, however we are, it doesn't matter. The same laws apply.
Yeah.
So is it okay? I mean, they are above, they are Dvandva Atita, just like we are Dvandva Atita, considering the previous portion. We're also Dvandva Atita if we are able to apply our intellect to our current likes and dislikes. That means the likes and dislikes are not affecting our decision.
Yeah, I think a little bit of reflection in the morning will help in filtering this thought.
Yes,
But
that's
yes,
what
I think it gives a bit of direction to think. Yeah.
Pratap Mehta, according to me, above likes and dislikes is craving and aversion, which will disturb our equanimity. So it may be okay to have likes and dislikes, but for higher ideals, it is not desirable to have craving and aversion. Craving and aversion is only a difference of degree. If it's light, you call it likes and dislikes. If very strong, you call it craving and aversion. The thing is, it doesn't matter how strong it is. It could be very strong like, it could be a very strong dislike, or it could be a light one. The important thing is, can you, regardless of that, can you still do what is right? you are from the armed forces. Everybody has an aversion to death, right? A very strong aversion to death. Then why do the soldiers walk into that field where the probability of dying is so great? It's an extremely strong aversion, but they put it aside. Like survival instinct must be the most powerful instinct, right? They're able to put it aside and go into war. So it doesn't matter how strong or light the like or dislike is. What is important is how strong the intellect is. What is that dedication to that idea? That's what makes them, talk of aversion. Aversion for death must be like, what, terrible. But they are going to go past it. So it's not, that is of course critical, because what you are saying, and rightly so, is if your likes and dislikes are not so powerful, they are usually easier to control. So that way, that's correct. But it's like saying it's not the speed of the car that determines whether it's in control or not, but whether the driver is in control or not. So somebody like me drives a car at 10 kilometers an hour, I'm not in control. Somebody like Schumacher drives a car at 200 miles an hour, he's in control. So it's not the speed, it's not the strength of the likes and dislikes, but the ability and the expertise of the driver.
And naturally, it comes with intellect.
Yes, intellect. That is what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And intellect, and it's also important to have equanimity in the life.
It's, as long as there's intellect, there'll be equanimity.
Equanimity. So the equanimity will not permit craving or aversion.
I don't know whether that is true. Equanimity is what the mind goes through. That is the consequence of the work of the intellect. If the intellect rises above the likes and dislikes, the mind becomes equanimous. Like when a parent is able to direct the child well, the child stays happy. But if the parent is not able to direct the child well, then he starts throwing a tantrum. Right? So, dependent on the direction of the child, of the parent, the child is happy or unhappy.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Janki.
Prakash, can we say self-realized person is equal filtered person? Equal filtered? I suppose you mean totally filtered. Yeah, he's totally filtered. He will not. He's okay, or his intellect is 100% functional. Yes, you could say that. Okay, so that's it for today. Next time we will start the next chapter, Use and Abuse of Spirituality. Important because everybody's on the wrong track with reference to it. So we